Hey guys, this is Tauna, and today we're going to be going over my $50, well less than $50, Firelord Azula deck that is technically a bracket 4 because of the infinites that are within it. I'd say it's more like a 3, but just because of, the mana cost of those infinites. But either way, this is going to be an absolutely really strong deck that you guys are hopefully going to love. It's going to cost you less to get this than one of the Lorwyn precons. And I'm also going to include the link down below where you can head on over to Manipool if you're within the US and just buy the deck straight away, right? Like you don't need to kind of grab it and input it anywhere or anything. You can just click that link, go buy it straight away, including them having one of the best optimizers of any website, right? You can optimize for the least amount of packages, least amount of, least cost and stuff. It's just an amazing website. So let's go through, first of all, with the Firelord Azula. I'll just say briefly what she does, and then I'm going to go through it all. I'm not going to have this be a long video, hopefully. Firelord Azula is obviously one of the most hyped commanders from Avatar, not only because she's Firelord Azula, she's an amazing character, but also her ability. She's got Firebending 2. Whenever you cast a spell while she is attacking, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for that copy. Now, keep in mind that's everywhere from the start of combat after you declare her as an attacker until the end of combat, including you can do this right before damage to severely ramp up the amount of damage that you're dealing with her. And, people are going to die from 21 commander damage, which is very, very easy to hit with her. So, the way I've built the deck is mostly around just those instant cast, like instant abilities. We have a couple things with flash, not too many, and we haven't focused on giving the whole deck flash or anything like that. It's mostly just focusing around a huge spree of instants that are very, very powerful. So our artifacts here are just mostly going to be mana rocks, and then the swift foot boots here. We don't necessarily want Azula to have haste, it's helpful, but realistically we need mana up before we swing in with her. So it's more for the hex proof that we've got this here, because you can swing in with her, you need a little bit of mana at least. And if you're kind of, tapping out to play her, like let's say, we're playing her for 4, right? We attach the boots, that's 5. So then you've got 2 firebending mana. You're most likely wanting a couple extra mana beyond that. So, the mana rocks help with that. And I don't think haste is necessarily a super duper important thing on her. Into our creatures here, our creatures are classic kind of Spellslinger stuff with some additions. So our Spellslinger stuff that's, more the classics like Camella, we've got Belmont, we've got Goblin, Electromancer, Stormcatch Mentor, Guttersnipe, that kind of thing. But the extra stuff we've got on top of that works really well with Azula is, first of all, the other Azula, because she's going to exile things from opponents. So target opponent exiles a creature, non-token creature they control, and a card from their graveyard, non-land card from their graveyard, and then you can cast those as though they had flash, as long as you control that Azula. You've also got Mysterious Stranger here that you can flash in, exile a card from each person's graveyard potentially, and then copy one of those at random as long as you've exiled 2 or more. We've got the Firebending Student here, just gets you a huge amount of red mana. The Leah to be able to give things flashback. Sedgemoor's a part of our Infinite, and then Stormkiln Artist is also a part of an Infinite too. But the big one here is Atali Primal Storm. People don't really expect Atali, but because of the fact when he attacks, you're going to exile a thing off each person's library, and then you can cast any number of them immediately. So that's during combat. While Azula is attacking as well, you get to copy them, which is just fantastic. Free triggers overall. We've got the 1,000-Year Storm here that lets you copy things as long as, essentially kind of storming off. You cast this, then next turn you have Azula attack, you cast a whole bunch of things, it's getting copied because of the ones from before it, etc. Aqueous Form lets us attack with Azula without being blocked. And then we've got Jace's Sanctum here, reducing the cost. But the part that I really like about this is the Scry one, because I'm not running a huge amount of tutors in this, because it's, meant to be a lower cost deck. Being able to scry each time you cast an instant or sorcery just becomes really, really powerful, because now you get to scry through your deck, get to what you want. If you need lands, you can get to your lands. If you don't need lands, you can get to those instants and stuff that are more powerful, and then boom, now you've got what you need without needing to add super expensive tutors or anything. All right, into the instance, there's a broad variety here, right? We've got card draw, so we've got stuff like Abandoned Attachments, Consider, Fists of Flame kind of fits into draw cards and deal additional damage as well. You've got some stuff to kill creatures with Firebending Lesson, Heartless Act. We've got like, what's the other one? We've got like Azula Always Lies, technically can kill a creature too. The Maestros Charm I really like. It's just going to be a great kill thing. We've got some protection in here with like Octopus Form. We've got Izzet Charm as well for like some big kind of, you know, protection, as well as potentially deal damage or draw cards. Like, it's huge. It's going to get you to do a whole bunch of things that are really, really helpful for this deck. Electro Dominance is like your big kind of win con. If you can keep up your mana, you swing in for damage. Let's say you swing in, you've got 5 mana for it, right? Plus the 2 from Azula. So you've got this dealing 5 damage to any target. Then you get to cast something from your hand for 5 without needing to pay its mana cost either. And, you know, you're casting anything. It doesn't even need to be an instant, right? Which is just fantastic. Just being able to kind of, you know, instantly cast anything within the deck. As I said, you know, we didn't really focus on the flash stuff, but that's really helpful to be able to get you to potentially flash something in without needing to pay the big cost for those, you know, Veldalkin honoraries and stuff. We've got Ancestor's Aid in here, which I think is a secretly strong, really great card here, because it's going to essentially refund itself, right? Like, it creates a treasure when you do it. You're going to cast it. You're going to copy it. You're going to get 2 treasures from it, which is just paying for it, which is fantastic. Really, really great. You know, you got your classic kind of, you know, counter spells and stuff too. Rakdos Charm here is just really great. Either you can exile someone's graveyard. You could kill someone really easily off of this by dealing double damage to someone, or you could spread it out as well. Unleash Fury, because you can cast that and then double. Like, if Azula, so let's say Azula swings in, right? Azula swings in, you don't get blocked. She hasn't got any combat buffs or anything, so she's got she's a 4/4. You double her up to 8/8, then you double her up to 16. Well, sorry, it's an 8/4 and then 16/4. Yeah, just, that's almost commander damage right there, right? And then, you know, other kind of great card draws, destroy, removals, all that kind of stuff. We just want to basically be able to cast as many of these in combat while Azula's attacking to just get a huge amount of value, control the board out with removal, or to be able to just ping people down, just burn them down, or just, you know, get card draw, huge amount of card draw within this deck as well. The lands are more of a budget option. We've got some good ones in here because we could need some kind of dual lands and stuff, but most of the dual lands we're focusing around having that blue because, you know, blue's important for the deck, but the way the deck's built is it's like blue and red primarily, so not too much on the black side of things, but mostly kind of, you know, focusing on those Izzet kind of colors because that's the spell sling away. Now, Professor Onyx here is a huge win con because Professor Onyx alongside Chain of Smog is infinite. And then if you've got, like, you know, Professor Onyx plus the, the Treasurer. Wow, my brain's breaking. Alongside the Stormkiln Artist. Then we can potentially do an infinite with Stormkiln Artist and Haze of Rage that's also going to then infinitely make Professor Onyx just deal, you know, just drain everyone out, which is great. Rel also works really well with this because, you know, both of these are going to deal damage whenever you copy or cast an instant or sorcery. You have Chain of Smog out. Chain of Smog, you target yourself with it, right? So as target player discards 2 cards from his or her hand, that player may copy this spell and then may cast a new target for that copy. So therefore, because you can infinitely copy this on yourself, you don't need cards to discard, then you can burn people out with Onyx or burn people out with Ral. Doesn't work, like, it's not working too much into the plan for like the plan for Azula, but it does work really well into like a spell slinger-ish kind of deck, and because of the fact that this is not an instant or anything, you're not casting this during combat or anything, so having like those big kind of alternate win cons to drain them out if Azula's not getting in or you're just not getting enough value out of her and stuff is just going to always be a great thing. And then, yeah, you know, we got like our chain reaction as our board wipe, and Brass's Bounty is really good here if you're able to copy it. So if you've got stuff like Twin Inferno that you can copy it with or something, then that's going to be, you know, just generate you a huge amount of treasures. And treasures are potentially more useful than lands, right? If you cast this in your second you cast this in your second main phase before the end of your turn. You're going to get a bunch of treasures. You get round to your next turn. You've either got Azula out or you're able to get her out and then equip the boots onto her. And then you just swing in and boom, you've got just a huge amount of mana going. So yeah, that's basically the way the deck works, is just being able to swing in with Azula, get a huge amount of value. It is the most straightforward deck that you could potentially think of, but it is a crazy strong deck for such a low budget, right? Like this is sitting here at 49.12 in regards to mana pool. And as I said, I'll put the link down below that you can just go buy the deck directly and let me know what you guys think. I hope you guys had a wonderful day, and goodbye.